the Honda NSX, one of Touge Shakai's easiest cars to drive. Let's get into it. Now, I don't want to be disrespectful or dismissive to anybody who struggles with the NSX, or as it's known in-game as the NXR, I believe. It's a relatively straightforward car, and I think you'll hear that from a lot of people who are experienced with the game. But the real-life version of this car does kind of explain some of that ease. Of course, the Honda NSX was a sports car slash supercar designed by Honda to compete with the likes of Ferrari back in the 1990s. The main focus, the main test driver that was testing it all was the late great Ayrton Senna. Of course, Formula One driver, one of the greatest to ever do it. He helped design and mold that car into one of the greatest, most stable driving platforms that has ever been created. So obviously, when it comes to a video game, it is also going to be a very simple and easy, stable driving platform. So that's no disrespect to anybody who is struggling with the car. It's just objectively, it is a very straightforward car, but it does have its downfalls, which I will get onto later on in the video. So what exactly do I mean by one of the easiest cars in this game? Well, you'll learn pretty quickly by my own personal rhetoric of this car throughout this video that I think this car is very, very straightforward, simple, and you'll learn that quite quickly, actually, and I'm going to say it immediately. It is a rear-wheel drive, naturally aspirated, high downforce car. That's like one of the easiest combinations to get used to and to master in Touge Shakai, and even better, the car severely lacks any kind of torque. So you never have to worry about spinning out, because if you do spin out, well, then it might just be an issue with your car settings, which is the next subject of this video, the first subject of this video. First thing we have to get down to business on the car settings. On screen, you will see right away the car settings that I use. 90 steering sensitivity, 97 steering assist, and 27 high-speed steering. Now, there are definitely better car settings out there. I'm not going to claim that. And there's certainly easier car settings out there, but I feel like this is a very good starting point. It's what works really well for me as someone who switches between a lot of the cars. You know, NSX is definitely not my main car. I actually focus more on all-wheel drives and on drift cars, so this is kind of a bit out of my comfort zone, a rear-wheel drive grip car. But I definitely recommend, at the very least, the 97 steering assist and the 27 high-speed steering, because you want, in theory, you want the car to have high-speed steering because it adds more potential to that car on how much the wheels can turn and how much the car will turn in the corner. And the 97 steering assist is just kind of like a rule of thumb for a lot of these rear-wheel drive grip cars. I don't know why it works, it just works. Steering sensitivity, it's interchangeable, you can go up or down. It depends whether you like the twitchiness or you don't. But let's say you're still struggling, even after putting on those car settings, you're still struggling with spinning out, with understeer, with all that nonsense that comes with the inexperienced drivers of the Touge. And apologies for calling you inexperienced, but let's face it, if you're struggling with the right equipment, it's called all gear with no idea. And I'm going to give you the idea now. So we're going to get into the driving segment of this video where I'm going to show you exactly how I would drive this car with those car settings in maybe not the most optimal way, but a way which is somewhat fast, better than average, I'd say. Now, first order of business, I would like to reiterate that this car is a grip car first. If you are drifting more or as much or even 30% of the time, you're driving the car incorrectly. If you're finding that you drifting the car for every corner is just as quick as you gripping it, I'm afraid to say you're probably just not driving well enough when you're gripping it, because this car has so much potential when you're driving it as a grip car. But one last thing, just before we get into the business end of this video and the part where you'll be thinking, yes, finally I get to stop listening to this silly English man talk about a car when he has absolutely no clue. We're going to talk quickly about the strengths and the weaknesses of this car. Now, the major strengths of this car is very good at technical maps, something that doesn't get discussed that much, but it is very good at technical maps, and that is because it is agile, it is grippy, and it's really good at accelerating, actually. It's one of the best cars in the entire game at accelerating from a stop to first or second gear. And combine that with the lack of torque, it doesn't wheel spin, it just goes. So you're rarely going to have issues coming out of corners. Now, the weaknesses, however, one of those weaknesses is that lack of torque. Yes, it accelerates very quickly, and yes, it doesn't wheel spin that much, but that lack of torque can also hamper you whenever you do need to slide the car. Now, the car is very, very long, sits very low down to the ground, so it will bottom out. You'll end up hitting guardrails. It does have its problems, and to keep that torque up as well, you're going to have to clutch kick at the perfect moment, and the perfect moment is a very difficult moment to decide when it comes to the Honda NSX. Another weakness that this car has is, yes, it's very quick in straights, and yes, it accelerates very well, but a lot of the high-speed focus maps within this game, it struggles on. I think the only two, really, that it's quite good on is Sadamine and Tsuchisaka. Other than that, I mean, it's good elsewhere, like it's all right on, say, Yogi, for example, but the reason why the Silati or the FC or even the 86 are strong on those maps, the FD, the Supra, is because they also have the added benefit of being able to drift and carry the speed through the corner that way. The NSX lacks that benefit of drifting and carrying speed in that manner. So now on to the segment where a very handsome young Englishman takes to Nagao, show you how to drive. Of course, starting in first gear, trying to minimize the amount you hit the rev limiter, shifting it around 50 kilometers per hour, then again at second around 100 to 101 kilometers per hour. And you see, kind of through these first few corners, a lot of throttle control do make a bit of a mistake there, tapping the inside of that corner. But yeah, Nagao is not really my strong suit, neither is this car. I only have 2,000 kilometers on this car, but still, with 2,000 kilometers you can get a decently respectable time. You see there, I should have shifted up to third. That second gear does run out to just over 100. But you'll observe through this run, I'm kind of sticking to this second gear for a lot of the run because it's kind of that golden sweet zone for the car. Little clutch kick there just to get the revs back up. You'll see me do that quite a lot. I'll maybe clutch kick twice in some of the tighter corners just to keep those revs up and to get the torque out of the car. As I mentioned, that's one of the weaknesses of the car, but you're just seeing there's a lot of patience involved with this car, a lot of throttle control. I'm kind of spending a lot of time around the 50 to 75% region when I'm not straight line, and then when you do want to straighten the car out, you just accelerate immediately. But something you'll see actually through the behavior of how my car is acting, I'm not quite sure if this is something you've noticed. There you go, there's the double clutch kick I was on about. Something you will notice is that the car does seem to rotate quite a lot from the middle. Now, this is something I didn't mention earlier in the video, but this car is mid-engine, so you will want to try and rotate the car from the middle just to get that turning in. Again, 2 clutch kicks there just to keep the car in second because it's quicker than having to shift down to first and then back up to second again. Now, I'm trying to avoid these grass patches on either side of the road because they are like ice. They're certainly not fun to get on. I'm sure more experienced Nagao drivers can tell you a lot more about that because I'm going to be real with you. This time took me half an hour to do. It was not difficult. And this is someone who really struggles at Nagao. So drive this car, guys. There's a lot more potential. But you see the lines I'm taking, you kind of brake, no nonsense. You just brake straight for the apex. There we go, brake. And then you do want to trail brake a little bit, which is to trail brake, you kind of lift off the brake throttle, brake pedal as you turn in. That helps kind of pitch and rotate the car. And then you layer on the accelerator just after. But yeah, you just kind of want to brake straight for the apex, take the tightest line, and then accelerate out because this car has really good acceleration. Also remember that you want to throttle control during the corners. And I mean, you can see my input on the bottom right, how I'm throttle controlling, and then I accelerate only when I know that I'm going to be going in a straight line, spending all this time in second. Third is also a good gear, bear in mind, but you might face a little bit more oversteer in third. So I usually tend to try and stick to second when I can. But the car is definitely trying to slip out. You don't see any examples in this run of how to drift this car, but the car does try and slip out. So there is kind of like a certain angle, or degrees of sliding that you can allow when gripping this car, which you're seeing in this run. Again, just being really patient, taking it easy. This is what you need to drive this car quickly. You need patience. You need to just go slow in, fast out. Very similar to a lot of the front-wheel drives, might I add. And this is kind of why it's good at technical maps. But it carries the speed well while gripping. And if you just take it easy going into the corners, you get that really nice exit, just as we saw there. 2 corners left of the run. We know what the time's going to be. Judging by the top left, I think you can do better. I certainly think a lot of people could do better than this. We go through the final corner, and that is the run over and done with. So, of course, as I've mentioned previously in this video multiple times, I think this car has a lot of untapped potential. Certainly when you look on a lot of the leaderboards, you'll see a lot of the top times are, well, rarely any of them are me. A couple of them are me, but most of them are either Flish or Genesis. And I mean, if you know anything about the Touge Shakai community, those are the 2 top dogs when it comes to setting times in cars that they don't main. So I think that if someone were to main this car, it could definitely achieve a lot more than what it already has done. So I encourage everyone watching this, give the NSX a go, see if you like it. It can be a bit boring, I will admit. It's a bit flat, it's a bit boring, it's not exciting, but it drives very well. You can drive as quick as you want to, and the NSX will respond. So give it a go, make sure to drive patiently, and of course, have fun. Now, I don't know when the next one of these videos is going to come out, because usually it's Carrie doing them. Maybe you'll see me again in a future one. You'll definitely see me again when the Advanced R32 video comes out. But for now, of course, thank you for watching. And of course, we'll see you in the next one.